Have you ever pondered on the concept of the kingdom of God? What does it truly symbolize in our lives? It's a thought-provoking question, isn't it? This concept, this kingdom, is not a physical realm, but it holds profound significance in our existence. It represents an ideal, a state of grace, a beacon of hope in our spiritual journey. It's an intriguing, complex, yet essential part of our faith. Today, we journey through scriptures to unravel the mystery of the kingdom of God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. This statement marks the commencement of time, the birth of existence as we know it. The first chapter of Genesis paints a vivid picture of a divine architect shaping the universe with words alone. The earth, the skies, the seas, all creatures, and humankind, all are the products of his divine design. In these initial moments of creation, God's kingdom was established, an invisible yet omnipresent domain where his will is absolute. This isn't a kingdom of walls and castles, but of spiritual dominion, extending across the cosmos and into the hearts of every living being. God's kingdom isn't a future promise or a distant dream. It was there in the genesis of all things, as God set the stars in their courses and breathed life into the first man and woman. From the onset, God's kingdom was present, and his reign over all creation was absolute. The prophets too spoke of this kingdom. Isaiah 9 verse 6-7 foretells a child born to us, a son given to us, whose government shall be upon his shoulder. In the heart of the Old Testament, we find the prophets Isaiah and Daniel, each playing an instrumental role in prophesying the coming of an everlasting kingdom of God. These prophecies are laced with vivid and compelling imagery, pointing to a time when God's rule would be universally recognized. Isaiah, a prophet known for his poetic eloquence, prophesied about the coming Messiah who would establish an eternal kingdom. In Isaiah 9 verse 6-7, he wrote, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end." Isaiah's prophecy foreshadows the coming of a Messiah, a king who would rule with justice and righteousness from that time on and forevermore. This king, as we later understand, is none other than Jesus Christ. Then there's Daniel, a prophet who served in the royal court of Babylon. Daniel's prophecies, particularly in Daniel 7, speak of a kingdom that will not be destroyed and a dominion that will never end. He foresaw a time when all rulers will worship and obey the king of this everlasting kingdom. These prophecies from Isaiah and Daniel were not mere future predictions. They were divine revelations of God's plan for humanity. They pointed to a kingdom where God's rule is absolute, his justice is perfect, and his peace is everlasting. These prophetic voices from the past echo into the present, reverberating with the hope of a kingdom ruled by a king who embodies wisdom, power, and eternal peace. A kingdom not confined by geographical boundaries or political structures, but one that transcends time and space. These prophecies set the stage for the arrival of Jesus Christ, the King of this promised kingdom. With the arrival of Jesus, the kingdom of God took a more definitive form. Jesus said in Mark 1:15, "The time is fulfilled and the kingdom of God is at hand." Jesus, the Messiah, used parables and sermons to explain the inherent complexities of the kingdom of God. Each of these teachings was a precious jewel, illuminating the path to understanding the kingdom's profound nature. Consider the parable of the mustard seed, found in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4. Jesus likens the kingdom of God to a tiny mustard seed, which, when planted, grows into the largest of all garden plants, providing shelter for the birds of the air. This parable encapsulates the essence of the kingdom's growth, starting from a small, seemingly insignificant beginning, yet expanding into an immense, nurturing refuge. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gave us the Beatitudes, declaring blessings on the poor in spirit, the mourners, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers, and those persecuted for righteousness' sake. Here, Jesus illuminated the character of kingdom citizens and the blessings that await them. In another parable, the parable of the great banquet, Jesus depicted the kingdom of God as a grand feast, open to all, but often overlooked or rejected by those invited. This teaching unfolded the kingdom's inclusive nature, yet also revealed the tragic reality of human indifference and rejection. Jesus' teachings also emphasize the kingdom's present reality. It's not just a distant future realm, but rather, as he stated in Luke 17:21, the kingdom of God is within or among us. It's a spiritual kingdom that exists here and now in the hearts of those who follow Jesus. Through Jesus, we see the kingdom of God as a place of love, peace, and righteousness. His teachings guide us in understanding the kingdom's nature, preparing us for the day when we too will partake in its glory. So, what does the kingdom of God mean for us today? The kingdom of God, as we've seen through the scriptures, is a divine realm that transcends time and space. It's a realm where God's sovereignty reigns supreme, where his love is the law and his will is the way. Today, in this fast-paced modern world, these ancient truths about the kingdom of God still hold profound resonance. In Genesis, we saw the inception of this kingdom, a realm of perfect harmony. Through the prophets, we learned of its promise, a beacon of hope in times of turmoil. The Messiah, Jesus Christ, then embodied this kingdom, living and teaching its principles, demonstrating its power, and extending its invitation to all. Today, the kingdom of God is not a distant, abstract concept. It's a present reality that shapes our lives, our values, and our actions. It's found in acts of love and kindness, in the pursuit of justice, in the embrace of mercy, and in the resilience of faith. It's present in the quiet whisper of prayer, in the shared joy of community, and in the steadfast hope of a better tomorrow. The kingdom of God is not just a future promise, but a present reality, a realm where God reigns and his will prevails. As believers, we are citizens of this kingdom, and we carry its light within us.